Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing we need to do is set our oven to 350 degrees. Alright, you're going to need two different mixing bowls. We're going to use one for dry ingredients and one for wet ingredients. So get your bowl that you're going to use for the dry ingredients. And we're going to start with flour. With the flour, you're going to need 2/3 of a cup. So I've got a 1/3 cup. I'm going to put 2 of these in. Alright, then I need a 1/2 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. This is what's going to make your brownies the chocolate color. So you need a 1/2 cup. All right, then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So that's one of your smaller spoons, the 1/2. And the baking powder is the one usually in a can. It's baking powder, not soda. All right, and the last thing we're gonna put in there is the salt. It's gonna be a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I'm gonna use the same teaspoon I just used, and I'm gonna put my salt in it and put it in the bowl. And then just take a spoon and stir that all in so you've got it all mixed together. And then we're going to set it aside because we're going to add it later to our wet ingredients. All right.
Do we have to put the salt?
The salt goes in with the dry.
How many?
1/2 teaspoon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, now we're gonna start our wet ingredients. So you're gonna need a 1/2 cup of butter, which is 1 stick. All right, then we're gonna add both of our sugars to it, the brown sugar and the white sugar. And you're gonna need a 1/2 cup of each. So I'm gonna use my same 1/2 cup that I was using. And I'm gonna get a 1/2 cup of each. Remember, the brown sugar is like sand and it packs. You need to make sure you pack it in so that you've got a good 1/2 cup. Again, pack it in there. Make sure you've got a good 1/2 cup of that brown sugar. All right, I've got my half cup of brown sugar. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. And then I need a half cup of white sugar. All right, now I'm just gonna start my mixer and I'm gonna mix in the butter and the sugars together. So mix them together. Make sure you're getting all the sugar mixed in.
Good afternoon, Miss Blackmon.
Hello, Maria. Maria, we've already mixed together all of our dry ingredients. So the flour, the cocoa powder, the baking powder, and the salt. Mix that in one bowl.
Okay.
So you need 2/3 cup of flour,
2/3 cup of flour. Okay.
a half a cup of the cocoa powder.
What is cocoa powder? Sorry, Miss Blackmon.
The kind I got came in a round thing like this, but it's basically what you use to make chocolate milk out of.
Okay. Miss Blackmon, I will not do today. I will do it later in the brownies because I'm working right now with my mom.
Okay.
So, like, I will come to the class and that I will do it later.
Oh, sure, no problem. You can send me a picture of it, okay?
Okay, got it.
All right, so we've got our dry ingredients and we've started our wet ingredients, which is our butters and our 2 sugars. Now we're gonna add 2 eggs. So get 2 eggs.
We have to put the 2 eggs on our dry ingredients.
You're gonna put the 2 eggs in with the sugar and the butter.
Okay.
So you put your 2 eggs in there.
So in one bowl we have to put the flour, the cocoa powder, and the
Baking powder and the salt.
okay. And the other one we have to put butter, sugar, and 2 eggs.
Yes, and we're getting ready to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract.
Okay.
So I'm gonna add a teaspoon of my vanilla extract. And then I'm gonna mix it all together again. Now I'm going to slowly add my dry ingredients to my wet ingredients. So I'm going to add just a little bit at a time of your flour and your cocoa powder and your baking powder and your salt. I'm just going to add a little bit at a time, and then I'm going to mix it and add a little bit more. Just like we've done on cakes and stuff, you add a little bit each time. How much what?
How much salt?
Salt is a half a teaspoon.
And teaspoon are the little ones, right?
Do what?
Teaspoon are the little ones, right?
Yes, but you only want half of it.
Okay.
Half a teaspoon. Okay, I'm going to add some more of my flour and my cocoa powder. I'm going to have enough. I'm going to do it about 2 more this time and then 1 more time. A half a cup of packed brown sugar and a half a cup of white sugar. Do what?
1 stick of butter.
1 stick of butter.
Unsalted or it's whatever you want?
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And then a half of a cup of brown sugar and a half a cup of regular sugar.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, I'm going to add the last of my flour here. Now you're going to see that your mix is getting thicker. That's because we're doing brownies and not cakes, so we don't want it just to slide out of the bowl. Okay. Just send me a picture of it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Again, make sure you're getting everything off the bottom and the sides, because you don't want any flour or anything left at the sides. So make sure you're getting it all the way around.
Do we have to open like and how much?
Do you have to do what?
How much do we have to put or oven?
Oven is on 350.
350. Okay.
Once we got it all mixed up, then we want to clean our beaters off, because we want as much of the brownie mix as we can get in there. So I'm gonna clean my beater off here. Some of you will be using a whisk. Clean that whisk off. Get as much of that brownie mix as you can down in the brownies. Get it all clean. It's not going to be perfectly clean because it's harder to get the brownie mix off than it is the cake, but get as much as you can. And again, if you want to taste it, you can taste it. Just don't lick the beater because remember there are raw eggs in here. Now I'm just gonna stir this into my bowl and make sure I've got all my powders and stuff completely stirred in, checking the sides, checking the bottom. Because I certainly don't want to start it cooking with flour or cocoa powder in the bottom of it that's not mixed in. All right, the last thing we're gonna mix in is a half of a cup of either white chocolate chips, chocolate chips, butterscotch chocolate chips, whatever kind of chocolate chips you have. If you don't want to put any chocolate chips in it, that's fine. But you're going to put a half a cup in.
I will put less of the ingredients because I'm using like 1 or 2 of them, so like...
That's fine. So if you want to use 2 different types of chocolate chip, if you want to use chocolate chips and then also white chocolate, then you just put about a half a cup in of one of them, and then finish filling the other half cup with the other one. So like if I was just going to do half and half, right there I would stop and add the rest of my other, whatever other kind I was going to put in. All right. And then I'm just going to mix those in with my spatula. I don't need to use my mixer to do that. If you've put them in and you want more in there, maybe it didn't put enough in there for you, you can add more. I'm going to add a few more to mine. Mix it around really good, making sure you're getting all the chocolate chips covered. All right. All right. Now I'm going to take a baking dish. Mine is glass. You can have a pan. You can have whatever you want. That's fine, yes. So take a baking dish and you need to spray it with the spray all the way around. Or if you've got oil, put oil in it. Whatever you need to do so that your brownies don't stick. When you get it sprayed all the way around, then you're gonna just put all your brownie mix into it. Now it's not gonna pour out like cake. It's just gonna come out in big glops, and that's okay because we're gonna spread it around in a minute.
Miss Blackman, can you show me how it has to put in the pan, please?
Yes, I'm getting mine in the pan right now.
Okay, thank you.
So like I said, when it goes in the pan, it's gonna come out in just one big, huge glop. Then you wanna make sure you clean your bowl out really good because you don't wanna miss anything. All right, so this is how mine came out. Now I need to spread it around my pan because I can't bake it that way. Now, brownies are like cakes and cookies. They spread a little bit, but not enough to not cover the corners. So make sure you put mix in every corner and spread it all around. I'm going to use my spoon from earlier. Make sure I get it all off my spatula. Because I want all that chocolate in that I can get in there.
So, Miss Blackman, and the pan have to look like it's a cake?
Yes, I'll show you when I get done with spreading mine. I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay.
All right. Once you've spread it all around, this is what you want it to look like. Okay, just like it's a cake.
Okay.
All right. And then we're going to put it in the oven for at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. All right, you'll definitely want to check it at about 20 minutes, especially if your pan was bigger than mine, because it could be done faster. If your pan was about the same size as mine, it may be 25 to 30 minutes.
So, Miss Blackman, mine's like it's just 3 brownies or 2 so much. So I have to put it out like every 10 minutes.
Yeah, I would check it about 15 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Now, the way we check a brownie is the same as the way we check our cake. You take a toothpick or a knife and put it right down in the middle. And when you bring it out, if it's clean, then your brownie's done. If it's still got batter on it, then your brownie's not done, okay?
Okay.
All right. How did everybody like the spaghetti yesterday?
It was really good.
You liked it? Good. I'm seeing some thumbs up. Awesome. All right. All right, guys. Well, that's all we're doing today is making our brownies. So while yours cook, you can enjoy the smell of them. And then when they're done, you can enjoy one for a snack, all right? Tomorrow we're making shepherd's pie. Has anybody ever had shepherd's pie before?
No, I think that's a pie.
Well, it is kind of like a pie, but we put ground meat and vegetables in it. And instead of covering the top with a pie crust, you put the pie crust on the bottom and the top is mashed potatoes. So we'll be making that tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
All right, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.